Sega!
Sega!
Welcome. It's been 300 years?
Been 84 years.
It's been a long time. And this is Sonic 3D Blast. Look at the amazing 3D graphics on display from this 1996 Sega Genesis release. And this is the first time a Sonic game has a story in the game. So the Flickies are mysterious birds. They live in another dimension and can travel anywhere through large rings.
Man, that took a second.
Robotnik learns about the Flickies. I will change the Flickies into robots and have them search for the Chaos Emeralds for me using the infinite power of the Chaos Emeralds. I can conquer the world. Wait. Sonic visits Flicky Island to see his friends, but the only thing he finds are robots. Oh no. Robotnik made my friends like this. I must save them. Robotnik must be stopped. Sonic starts to defeat the enemies in order to rescue the Flickies who are trapped inside.
Sonic has a nasal going on.
Go, Sonic. You can warp through the big rings with the help of the Flickies. Chase after Robotnik and defeat his plans. Defeat them. But really, these little 3D-ish renders of the Flickies are quite impressive on a Sega Genesis. And whoa, what's this? We're not on a flat 2D plane anymore. No, that's right, baby, because this is a blast. A 3D blast. I like this game.
Yeah?
So, Sonic 3D Blast was developed by Traveler's Tales, and it was pretty much a kind of sort of direct response to stuff like Donkey Kong Country and Star Fox that we were seeing on the Super Nintendo at the time. It's like a 3D Sonic game where you run around these 3D environments, and it's good. It's good enough. Smooth, what do you think about Sonic 3D Blast? How do you feel about it?
I mean, as a kid, it used to be one of my all-time favorite Sonic games, because I never beat it, which is a trend with me and Sonic games all the way up until a much later game. For some odd reason, I don't know why I could never beat Sonic games as a kid. I could get almost to the very end, never beat them. But yeah, I always played. I was able to play 3D Blast on Mega Collection, which was basically how I played all the classic games I could at the time. And when I was a kid, to me it was one of the best ones, and I decided to replay it as an adult when going through a lot of games again. It's not really up there as much.
Nah, I mean it's not bad. It's a very it's a very fine game.
Yeah, it's not really good or really bad. It's kind of just right in the middle there. Has some ups and downs. I feel like the controls you really have to get used to, because you do slide around a lot.
It's gonna look like I have no idea what I'm doing, but trust me, it's because these controls are really, really odd and really, really slippery. You're gonna see me running into enemies on the parts where you actually have to platform in this game.
Oh,
I mean, frankly, you can look at this game and see that platforming in it is not going to be easy. And it's not easy. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but this game was developed by Traveler's Tales in conjunction with Sega and Sonic Team. I think that Sega and Sonic Team consulted on the project, but ultimately it was Traveler's Tales who did the bulk of the work here. And as it said in the opening cutscene, the goal is to find Flickies, defeat robots. As you can see on the bottom right hand of the screen, there's 5 robots in each and every single section of a stage. You have to defeat those robots, and inside those robots is a Flickie. And you must take those Flickies to the big ring so that you can get to the next stage, or the next part of the stage, because the acts are split up into different sections here. And yeah, it's a cool game, but yeah, running around is really, really not super comfortable. And a big reason for that is because this game lacks any kind of analog control. Now, For the sake of authenticity, I played this using a Sega Genesis controller, like the one that you get from the Sega Genesis Classic. Since it's a USB controller, I just plugged it in to use that. So I'm essentially getting the same feeling while playing this game as I would get if I were playing it back in the 90s, and it don't feel too great. I gotta tell you, it don't feel too great.
Yeah, you're just like slipping all over the place as Sonic, and when you seen earlier, as Jack said, you have to collect the flickies, get them to the goal ring, and that's how you basically beat the stages or the acts and everything. But when you get hit by an enemy, the flickies will scatter, and you have to recollect them, and the depth perception of this game is not very good.
Yeah, you guys are gonna see later on. I have a lot of trouble with the flickies, especially in the next zone. The flickies can give you a hard time. And you've seen earlier, you can run into Tails or Knuckles in these stages, and when you run into Tails or Knuckles, if you have 50 rings, they'll take you to a special stage where you can earn a Chaos Emerald. Spoiler alert, you can't turn into Super Sonic in this game, but you do get the true ending, quote unquote, once you have all of the Chaos Emeralds. So you'll want to collect them anyway if you're a 100%er and you like to complete your games. So there. But I mean, you know, visually and audibly, this game looks and sounds great. I mean, these environments are really impressive for the Sega Genesis. This game looks really nice. It sounds really nice. It plays decently. Right here, I was trying to gather 50 rings so I could go to Tails and do another special stage. And I guess now's the best time as any to talk about the special stages. This is it.
Yeah.
This is what they are. You just run forward.
Yeah, it's you don't even run forward yourself. It's Sonic just automatically goes forward, and you just move side to side. You're literally just dodging the spike balls and just grabbing rings. And another thing is you can't fall off the side. You can try, but you can't. It is one of the easiest special stages in the classic games.
Definitely,
if not the easiest, honestly.
During my playthrough of this game, I failed the special stage one time. That was about it. Like I failed once because I got hit by the spike balls a bunch of times. But even still, like I hadn't played this game in I think like maybe 2 years or so. Not since the last time we did a big Sonic marathon.
Yeah, true.
Which was the 30th anniversary. So yeah, like I haven't played this game in a while.
Jeez, that's already been 2 years. Wow, it has. Wow.
Yeah.
It's already been 2 years since the 30th.
Yeah. So
we have 35th soon. Jeez.
It's kind of tricky, right? The hard part about the special stages in this game is getting to them.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get hit because of the way this game's controls are, the way the enemies are. There's all sorts of tricks and traps in later stages that makes it just really difficult to and right there you can actually see if an enemy hits the flickies as they're behind you, they will fall off of you. So sometimes your flickies can get hit and you won't even realize it. So you have to really just pay very close attention to those flickies. Now, you know, there's those Sonic head things, and I paused just now because I was trying to see if they keep track of how many you have, but I guess they don't. I have no idea what those are. I thought that once you collect a certain amount, they give you an extra life.
I believe they're supposed to be continues or something. I think.
I have no idea.
Which, yeah, I think they are supposed to be continues. I believe. I could be wrong, or maybe you collect all of them in the stage for an extra life. I forget exactly how they're supposed to be, but yeah, no. As a kid and even as an adult, I was always confused as to what they were used for, because they don't automatically go up on your life count, I believe.
No, we'd have to consult the manual to see what those are used for. But yeah, as you can see, each act has different sections. Well, each zone has different sections.
I love playing ball.
No, each act of every zone has different sections. Yes, that's right. I got mixed up. But Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward game. It's pretty easy. There's like, I don't think there's any pitfalls in this game at all. At least not any that I can recall.
Not that I can think of. No.
It's kind of hard to die because of that. You know, there's no pitfall, so it's like you really probably aren't gonna die and lose a life if you're playing this game, unless you just get hit a lot. Like I lose lives here and there because that's mainly because I'm trying to like backtrack and get the flickies. I mean, and get enough rings to go into a special stage. But for the most part, you're not gonna lose any lives. It's a very easy game overall. It's just that
Sonic games.
It's one of those games where if you're trying to get all the Chaos Emeralds, that's when the difficulty ticks up. But yeah, I mean, and also I guess one of the things to point out is the speed. This game is fairly slow. You're not going to be running very fast. You're not going to go very fast. The fastest you'll go is on those automated sections, like right there, where I went through that loop-de-loop. But that was completely automated. I had no control over it. But you're not going to be going very fast. Like, this is a game where it's very much like a methodical, slower-paced platformer. And that's fine. And it's good. For what it is, it's good. I think it's impressive that they pulled this off on a Sega Genesis. And it is a decent enough game. Like, if I had this as a kid, I could see myself liking it, you know, because it's really just not bad. I can't stress that enough. It's not bad. I swear it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not a bad game at all.
Nah.
Like
yeah, here goes another special stage, and it's just that easy. It's just that easy.
Yeah, really, the only thing that changes is like the environment.
The environments change, but these are fairly short special stages, and for some reason the Chaos Emeralds in this game look like gushers. Don't they? Or they kind of like throat lozenges. What do you think? Like Ricola?
I think they do.
Or like a hollow throat lozenge? Yeah, so that's the thing. When you exit a special stage, all your rings are gone. So that's one way you can lose your lives, because once you leave a special stage, your rings are going to be completely gone. So you'll have to always remember that, like, oh yeah, that's right, I don't have any rings. Which, I believe that's how they did it in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, right? Where you leave a special stage and you have no rings?
I believe so.
Yeah. So I guess that's a remnant from then, but oh well. That's fine.
But yeah, we're in, I believe, Green Grove is basically the green hill of this game. The first little easy stage. Yeah, I mean, it's basically just like a 3D Green Hill, essentially.
But again, you know, it's like the smoothness of this game. It's very, very impressive. I think that all of what they did, I mean, especially because, you know, this is a two-dimensional game. These aren't actually slopes. You know, what I'm walking up right now isn't a real slope that's being rendered in a 3D environment. That's a 2D flat plane that's being, like, you know, like, there's just, I can't stress enough how impressive that is to me. How they managed to do that. And it's been done in other, you know, 16-bit video games, but it's still just cool because this game does have momentum sort of based physics to it. Like, it's just very interesting the way they did it. Traveler's Tales was a really fascinating studio back in the days. And this is not the only version of Sonic 3D Blast either. There is another version of Sonic 3D Blast. Well, there's two other versions. There's the PC version, and there is the Sega Saturn version. And the cool thing about those versions is that they have totally different special stages. Also, those versions of the game likewise have updated graphics. So Traveler's Tales went back in and they updated the graphics, and also the music is different because
like vastly different.
Vastly different, yeah. So this is this music is running off of Genesis hardware, so it's running off of, like, you know, the Genesis music chipset that will be in the cartridge. But since they were using CD with the Sega Saturn and with Windows, you get CD quality audio. and it's actually like some of my favorite audio. Some of my favorite songs in Sonic are on that. A lot of people I've heard say that they like the Genesis soundtrack better. And the Genesis soundtrack is definitely a classic soundtrack. Like, actually, a lot of the tracks, or at least a good number of tracks from the Genesis, ended up getting reused later. Like, I believe the special stage theme, is that the theme for Windy Valley?
Yeah, in Sonic Adventure.
Yeah. And likewise, the theme from the Icy level here, I can't quite place it, but I know I've heard it in another Sonic game.
What was it? Yeah, yeah, it's in Sonic Chronicles. Very horrible version of it.
No, not just in Sonic Chronicles. I swear I've heard it. I don't know. I have to re-listen to it again and really try and figure out where it's from. But the music in the Genesis version is great. The music in the Saturn version is great. I think the soundtracks are more or less interchangeable. It's good stuff.
I do still wish that stuff. I do still wish this game was put into Sonic Origins. Like they have the island there in like the menus, and they have the music, but they don't have the game. It's the same thing with Spinball and Knuckles Chaotix. Like, why?
Well, I can understand why Spinball isn't in there, but yeah, I think that Knuckles Chaotix and 3D Blast definitely would have been really cool to see, especially Knuckles Chaotix, because that is a very, very little known Sonic spin-off game starring Knuckles and the Chaotix. And it's pretty much showed up. I don't think it's ever been officially re-released in any collections or anything like that.
Not that I know of, no. The only way I was able to play it was on an emulator on my computer.
That was likewise the only way that I was able to play it as well. I don't own a 32X, and I surely don't own a copy of Knuckles Chaotix.
No.
But Knuckles Chaotix is actually one of my favorite Genesis era Sonic games. It's like really up there for me.
It is a really fun game. I really enjoyed playing the game. All the music.
The music, the visuals. Oh man, just like Chef's Kiss, you know, that stuff is just, it's great. It's amazing. But yeah, we're fighting a boss now.
Anyway, Eggman's dead. Or sorry, I guess Robotnik.
Yep. Robotnik has been defeated. And next time we're gonna be in Rusty Ruin Zone.
Yeah, that's the name.
Rusty Ruin Zone. So we'll see you guys then. Until then?
Question mark?
Yeah, sure.